People everywhere are jumping straight out of their own humanity just so that they can jump to conclusions. You ever just have so many words and things that you need to say built up in you that you just got to say them somewhere? That's kind of what I'm doing. I'm sorry, this isn't what I would usually post. In fact, it'll be a little bit more triggering potentially for some people, just potentially, just FYI, just in case. So if that's not your thing, that's cool. I just want to say these words for myself more than anything, because I'm at a breaking point with you idiots. I'm sure if you're at all keeping up with the Olympics or are anywhere on, online, about this whole, everything. The rampant transphobia, to be specific. I mean, there's a lot of other shit too, like racism, etc. But we'll start with this. Just a few hours ago, actually, it looks like Miss Angela has finally apologized. This is the Angela, in case you're confused, who got hit once by her opponent and freaked out because her opponent, in her opinion, is a man, which is not true on any level. In case you're just by some chance missing anything, or you're confused, or you're one of those fucking doofuses out there, let me tell you that the lovely opponent in question is a biological female, identifies as a female, always has, was assigned female at birth, still identifies that way, comes from a very homophobic country, so there's no way this person would be trans anyway, competing in the Olympics, okay? The only thing going on here is she has a little bit more testosterone than perhaps the average woman, but that is not uncommon, especially in sports. So Miss Dramatic Goofus over here apologizing after several days of just constant buffoonery, hate, dipshittery, soggy sandwich opinions left and right. After all this, she's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sad that there's been so much backlash going on. It made me sad. Bitch, no one cares about if it made you sad. It's too little too late. At least you said something, I guess. You can have half a cookie. But the damage has been done. It's been like a disease. It's spreading like a virus more than ever out here. Because here's the thing. I've seen several people say this. I could be wrong, of course, because I don't have an exact source. But I've seen multiple people say that actually Angela beat Imane in a previous competition. I think it was the last Olympics. She won at least a round against her, if not what won in general. So why all of a sudden, we just decided to let the narcissism come out, or whatever it is you're plagued with, my dear. You suddenly, I have never been hit so hard in my life is happening that's what she's saying, because her opponent, who she has, beat before, suddenly just hit her a little too hard, I guess. I'm like, well, there's a first for everything, honey. Especially at the Olympics, where, you're there specifically to punch each other in the face. That's kind of the whole thing. And did she even black out or anything? She didn't lose consciousness, did she? She stayed awake. I think you're more likely to black out on a roller coaster than you are in a ring with your opponent in this situation, because you're fine. You're fine, And of course, one of the great points that people have been bringing up is the whole Michael Phelps thing, and how he's literally not normal. He's way longer wingspan than most people have. Does only produces half the amount of lactic acid that most people do, which is what makes you tired, or it's something that makes you tired. His lungs are not normal. People are gonna be at an advantage in sports regardless of their gender. There are plenty of female boxers that are better than plenty of other men boxers, and vice versa. Why do you, this, like I said, this is a professional victim. She doesn't give a fuck. She doesn't give a flying fuck. She's fine. She knows she's fine. She knows she's being a dramatic little bitch. This is just transphobic hate. This is misogyny at the root of it all. Okay, let's be real. A lot of transphobia is rooted in misogyny. I mean, let's be honest. And that's what's happening here. And one of my favorite things about this whole ordeal has, of course, been our lovely resident JK Dumming, out here doing what she does, and making her whole personality about misogyny, about transphobia. Look at her go in this beautiful post that she blessed us with. Could any picture sum up our new men's rights movement better? Our new men's rights movement. Oh my God, are we having a men's rights movement? He's protected by a misogynist sporting... I can't even read it because I'm like, okay. He's protected by a misogynist sporting establishment. Okay, I can't even. Honey, look in the fucking mirror. But first we need to look at the mold growing behind you, because that's literally what's going on in her actual fucking profile picture. If you look at it, as people have been pointing out, you can visibly see black mold just growing up this woman's fucking walls. And isn't she like supposed to be as rich as the royal fucking family of England? Or richer, actually. Doesn't she have more money than the royal family? And she can't get the fucking mold in her house dealt with. She can't move. You need to burn it to the ground. It looks like that is like real bad. No wonder you're like this, because this is just silly. This is just a bowl of silly. I just need to take a second and ask you to imagine. Like, can you imagine spending so much time having meltdowns over the genitalia and chromosomes of complete strangers that you don't even notice the black mold growing up your walls? Can you fucking imagine? Hi, Editor Liz here, just jumping in to deliver you the incredible news that Miss Joanne, whatever the fuck her name is, graciously decided to change her moldy ass profile picture in exchange for none other than this. This picture. The fuck is that? Okay, like, I know, it's probably a stuffed animal. I know, like, some, whatever, but like, is she for cereal right now? Is she for fucking serious? Is she doing this on purpose? Is she that stupid, or is she that horrendous that she's doing this shit on purpose? I'm not sure which is worse, but I gotta just show you, like, look, some of the responses on Twitter just killing me out here. Like, this person saying, is that Dobby behind her with his fucking knob out? JK Rowling, assuming there's a penis everywhere. It's right behind me, isn't it? Oh my fucking god. That pole vaulter in the house. I mean, it's good. And here we have, as the same shit going on with Katie. Look at it. Here's some lovely comments on this post from ESPN. You're giving wet napkin energy, Aaron. I don't know who you think you are to just jump on this bandwagon and assume, oh yeah, this is clearly like, somebody who snuck in. They snuck their dick into the Olympics. No, she didn't. There isn't a dick, and even if there is, who cares? Oh my god, what type of delusion to keep calling this man a she? What type of delusion to say words when you have no brain? What type of delusion are you? Was she a man before the way she's built? Have you never seen a female athlete, Laura? Laura, have you never seen an athlete before in your fucking life? Is this your first Olympics, honey? Is this your first time watching the Olympics? There's actually other women out there who are built even more beefy than she is. I just fucking cannot with you people. And also, we have this AI crap going on, but that's like nothing compared to the real sin going on here. Why are people so determined to be a victim? Why are we out here just being so ready to be a wee damsel in distress? Why are we so determined to hate other women? Why are we as women out here making things worse for other women? Sorry, Editor Liz here again. Just have to point out that, like I said earlier, transphobia is a lot of times rooted in misogyny, but I gotta say it's also rooted in racism a lot of the time. Because let's compare these images. This on the right is Luca, who reposted the awful, horrendous Beauty and the Beast-ass looking picture before their match. And of course she lost, thank God, obviously. But I just need to point out that, like, she was making herself out to be this tiny little girl against this giant monster of a, quote, man. And turns out she's taller and bigger than Amane anyway. Girl, you're just a racist piece of shit. Shit's stupid. Shit's real stupid. Spread the word to stop being fucking stupid. On the side of stupidity and people being stupid around the Olympics, we all know that, like, everyone is just fucking lost their mind about the opening ceremony and the, quote, mockery of the Lord's Supper and the drag and all this shit. It's like, okay. Oh my god, here's one of the lovely tweets about it. We're offended by drag. We are, says Lizzie. Okay, ma'am. A woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak, for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. And of course guess what we're quoting? We're quoting Deuteronomy. We're quoting the Old fucking Testament. We're quoting the literal ancient text here. I just absolutely love it when people use a quote from the Old Testament for this kind of thing, when they bring up one of the little nitpicky details off of a list, off of the Old Testament, to defend, to try to apply it to something today. When, in case you didn't know, Lizzie, the whole point of those parts, especially of the Old Testament, is this is how shit was before Jesus died. Right? And he did all that. He went through the greatest suffering known to man to free us. You fucking idiot. That was the whole point. All of this was how shit was before, according to your beliefs, before people were saved, right? Before Jesus did the thing, so that we don't have to do all these nitpicky little things for the rest of forever. And yet here we are, we're still quoting this over 2,000-year-old text, just because you're mad about an Olympic opening ceremony in Paris, of all things. What did you fucking expect? Is France? What did you fucking expect? And it's also, as we all know, it's Greek mythology, Lizzie and Blair. It's Greek mythology. It's not the Lord's Supper. Okay, and here's the thing. Who fucking cares if it is? Okay? Who cares if it was supposed to be the Lord's Supper? Lizzie and Blair? Who cares? Who cares? Now, I want to point out, in case you didn't know, that I am a former pastor's child. It's been a hot minute since I've been in a church, a long time. But I grew up in the Southern Baptist and non-denominational world of the United States. Okay, so I've been to biblical colleges and all that. I've done all that. I know. Let me tell you something, as someone who has, been dealing with religious trauma and has spent well over a decade crawling out of so much crap that, it's something I can't even describe right now. Nothing pisses me off quite so much as someone, again, with that background, okay? Nothing makes me so fucking mad as these, especially, I'm just going to point out, you both seem to be white, and I mean, Blair, you literally have white in your name, and maybe she's not, but regardless, Christians, especially white Christians, being so fucking ready to be a martyr, a victim, to be persecuted, to be offended. They just are so ready to be offended, because maybe if we're offended, we'll be carrying the burden, we'll be persecuted. And it's so good to be persecuted, because that's how Jesus was. Jesus and his disciples were persecuted, so if we can be like them and be persecuted too, that's really cool. So I'm just gonna be really offended because they might be mocking the Lord's Supper. What the flying fuck, you dimwits. Here's the thing, I gotta calm down. You're not being persecuted. All you're doing is making people hate you, your beliefs, your religion, your God more than ever. Why would anyone want to follow what you believe when you're out here being a little bitch about every little fucking thing that happens on the planet? When you're being a little soggy sandwich about the fucking opening ceremony in Paris, France, where they have a blue guy and they're in some drag and they're not doing anything fucking wrong. They're just being fucking silly. I don't know what the rush is to be so mad and to be so delusional. Lizzie, Blair, I just want to assure you, and everybody else who has this fucking mindset, according to your beliefs, I'll say it the way you would like to probably hear it. You do not have to suffer to the same degrees that Jesus did in order to be loved by him, okay? You don't have to find ways to be a victim just to be accepted. The whole fucking point of the gospel is that you don't have to do anything. In fact, the whole point is you're just supposed to just fucking love each other. You're supposed to love people, and listen, let people make fun of shit in the Bible. Who cares? Who fucking cares? Do you think that's gonna undo anything? Do you think that's what is it gonna do? Do you think that's gonna go make people hate God more, make people hate Jesus more? That thing in the Olympics was silly, and it was mocking the Bible. So I definitely don't want to go to church because that's just that's not how that works, Lizzie. People aren't out here thinking like that. They aren't out here going, oh God, the Bible's real silly. I'm so glad I'm not a Christian, because, you know, the Olympic ceremony really proved to me that that's all just a bunch of silliness. So now I'm never going to go to church. No, never. Nobody's doing that, Lizzie. That's not how, like, who fucking cares? It's just you that's offended. Oh my God, this is like, you know, this is my thing and they offended me because this is my belief. Get the fuck over it, because that's what Jesus would have done. He would have gotten the fuck over it. You know, he was hanging out was the worst of the worsties, Lizzie. This wouldn't have fazed him. So you're out here being a soggy, angry little scum of the earth, just making everything look bad. You're making yourself look bad. You're making Christianity look bad. You're making Jesus look bad. Them at the Olympics, drag queens, the opening ceremony, all of that shit in any context isn't doing shit to hurt Christianity. You're doing shit to hurt your own belief, your own faith, your own religion, to hurt Christianity. Y'all on the online, what you should do is fucking ignore it. You can be mad to yourself in your own house, to your friends, to your family, but you're going online and you're just being like, look, I'm an asshole, look, I'm gonna be all up in a wad, you know, I've got a stick up my booty today again, you know, and and it's like, fuck off. You're just doing the worstest. Shut up, just be a decent human. You know, you guys need to work on being decent humans, and then maybe you'll be ready to work on being a decent Christian. Okay, you can't even be a human right now. Like, you're just out here being fucking stupid. Stop. No, I can't do a video like this at a time like this without mentioning, you know, Trumpbert's lovely running mate and himself at a time like this. You know, I mean, I, as a sad, lonely, and pathetic Catwoman, I can't be quiet at a time like this, you know? Mr. JD Vance, which I'm not gonna say his last name again, I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, because I have had one of my original characters for a long fucking time now, and his name is Vance, and so I am actively ignoring the fact that this piece of shit shares a name with one of my babies, you know, one of my children that has grown in my mind for all these years. So we're just gonna call him just Dipshit or JD or whatever, you know. So just so you know, I'm not calling him that other name, because fuck you, sir. But yeah, he says they're going to war against childless people. Going to war. Oh my God, that sounds fun. I mean, I personally would love to fight you behind a Denny's, sir. You know, let's go. What does that fucking mean? Like, why would you say that about, you know, any just normal demographic in the US? We're going to war against you, especially just sad, lonely, and pathetic. They should feel like their life is inadequate. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, sounds like someone has got some problems here to unpack, Mr. JD. Yeah, it sounds like you do, because why the fuck else would you say that? What the hell? Okay, for one, there's a lot, and we could go on and on. People have said a lot already. I know this is old news to some of you, and I mean, I'm not saying this to broadcast it. Like, I'm assuming you already know, right? If you are online at all, you know this. I'm just gotta say my words. I gotta say my shit, like I said at the beginning. So here's the thing. Okay, there's a lot of people out there who can't have kids who want them, for one thing. Lots of people out there who are just devastated that they can't have their own kids. Not something I can relate to, because I sure as hell don't want anything going in or out of my uterus, you know, that's not supposed to naturally without, you know what I'm fucking saying. Okay, I actually don't want anything going in or out of it at all, now that we think about that. Like, if anyone needs a uterus. Okay, so the point is, how fucking dare you, you know? To anyone who just physically cannot have a child, who financially can't, they haven't found their significant other yet, how fucking dare you, sir? What the hell? Like, even I, as someone who strongly never wants to have kids, even I am just offended on their behalf. And now, as someone who also, like I said, doesn't want to have kids, why would you just assume we're sad, lonely, and pathetic? Is the only way to not be lonely to have some crying babies running around the house? Like, is that right? And to have a romantic partner, is that the only way to not be lonely? You fucking napkin of a human being. I mean, you're like Oh, you're like the kind of napkin that you find, you know, that's already been in several trash cans and a dumpster, and it's been soggy and it's been rained on, and like that's how much value you have at this point. Like, what the fuck is this man? Who is he? Why is anyone allowing him to exist, you know? I'm pretty sure actually that single childless women are the happiest demographic, and even if that's not a statistic fact, which I think it is, but even if it's not, I sure feel like I am happier than a lot of people who are in relationships, because what y'all out here going through it. Y'all out here going through it. Every day I wake up and I thank God that I'm not attracted to men or to anyone really, but especially not to men, because oh my God, I feel so sorry for y'all that are like, holy shit. It's rough out there, especially with this fucker out in the world. You're being so fucking rude. There's not even words to describe. I mean, y'all know. I'm gonna assume y'all know, right? I'm gonna assume that anyone, you know, who's at least already subscribed to me has a little bit of sense, hopefully. And if not, get the fuck out of here. You know, what are you doing? I've never seen anyone so aggressively determined to self-sabotage as this dude. It's one thing to be a shitty person, and it's another thing to like broadcast the fact that you're a shitty person to the whole world as aggressively and constantly as you possibly can. Like, we aren't holding anything back, are we? Here he is. During a podcast, apparently Mr. JD said that as he was on the phone getting that call from Trump Bert about being the VP pick, his 7-year-old is talking about Pokemon, and he says, this is an actual quote that Mr. JD says. He says, I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important call of my life. Please let me take this call. Okay, you could have just said that part. You could have just not said the first part. You know, you could have just been like, hey, I need a minute. This is a really important call. But not only that, even if you do say shut the hell up to your 7-year-old who's just excited about Pikachu, even if you do say that at home, why would you fucking tell the world? Especially when you're on the ballot, right? You know, you're literally you're running for vice president, and you're just telling the whole world that I'm the worst ever. You know, I'm just a piece of shit. That's crazy. Like, he doesn't give a fuck. Like, does he not give a fuck, or is he just stupid? Like, what is it? You know, you gotta wonder. You gotta fucking wonder what it is. Because he also said the couch thing. You know, how many of y'all are like in on the couch? Yeah, if you're on Twitter at least, I'm sure it's like on Reddit and all that shit too. I don't know. There was somebody who made the lie. I guess hopefully it's a lie. I don't know where it came from. That this guy that JD has a couch fetish. That he's fucked a couch before. Yeah, you heard me. Now I don't, it's not true as far as we know. I mean, he could have, I don't know, I wouldn't be surprising. But what I'm saying is this whole couch fucking joke, literally, if you're on Twitter, you know, you couldn't scroll 2 posts without seeing it. Every other post there was a meme about him and his couch fetish, you know, and like it was funny, you know. The meme harvest was bountiful, you know, and then there was the dolphin thing later, which you know, that made even more crossover memes. We love a good meme mashup. But so what I'm saying is, how you couldn't be online and not know about the couch thing, like, you know. So there's no way in hell, like, surely this man knew that the whole internet was making fun of him for being into couches, for being romantically interested in couches. Everyone was saying this, and yet he has the self-awareness of a dead gnat, because then he goes up on stage, like, you know, right in the heat of the couch memes, and is like, he says, yeah, I was gonna have my wife come up here, but, you know, then I'd have to sleep on the couch. You just voluntarily said the word couch. There was literally one word you didn't need to say, and you said it. Like, how? Surely someone, at least, even if he's not, you know, looking at stuff, surely someone would have told him, like, about the couch thing, you know, and been like, don't say the word couch, you know, don't say that. I just can't fucking believe it's like he wants to die and burn, you know. Good, I hope you do. I mean, keep at it, buddy, it's helping us, you know. But what the fuck? What the literal flying fuck? And of course he said the lovely thing about how his wife is great even though she's not quite. Just when you think men can't surprise you more, you know, just when you think you've seen it all and that it can't get any worse, you know, they just continue to astound and dismay, you know. Like, I know there's not all men, like, for sure, but man, the ones that are, holy fuck, I just She's not white, but she's a good mom. That's the best thing you could say. Holy fuck. Of course, the orange guy himself, I will insert that normally I don't condone poking at people's looks, but let's be honest, he chose to look like a quickly expiring orange peel. That's on him. So whatever. Anyway, the orange dude himself, Trumpington, probably has to hold the world record, the gold medal, for the person who has said the most amount of horrific and absurd things out of everyone ever. Like, who has ever said as much bullshit as this guy? In fact, let me just pick out something recent. Let me read you this lovely quote. I was sort of like a hot guy. I was hot as a pistol. I think I was hotter than I am now, and I became president. Okay, I don't know. I said to somebody, was I hotter before or hotter now? I don't know. He'd just be saying anything. He really just be saying anything. What does this fucking mean? What is it? Why would you say this, huh? What? You're currently on a presidential campaign and you're just out here saying this. Out of everything you could say, out of all the apologies you need to make, out of all the bettering yourself you need to do, you're wondering if you're hotter now or before. Like, for one thing, you've never been hot, but all right. Anyway, I don't know why I did this. Let me know if you want me to react and like share opinions more often. Maybe I'll game some too again. Who knows? Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll disappear. But I guess subscribe just in case.